Chatty Chappies are the recent friends Andy and Brian who are discovering similar interests, and just like chatting about all kinds of things from music to vehicles, spirituality to writing, but seldom football. If you want to be added to their future communications, there will be a notice at the end of this broadcast. Chatty Chappies.
Hi, here we are again.
Yes.
Back in yours for a second time.
Yes, here we are again, and
wow, and it's all modern recording stuff here. This is
this is high tech stuff,
isn't it? This is not the book room by any means.
This is more like a studio,
well,
a poor man's studio.
Yeah.
Excuse all the amplifiers and kit that's lying about.
No.
It's all helpful.
Yeah.
I'll get it organised at some point. You know, that last conversation we had, you know, I got really quite in the need of a battery.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have to go and search. We'll have to have a road trip.
And for years and years, we never had them in the family, you know. But growing up, we had them quite a lot because our roots are Aberdeen. Yeah.
Aye. Had they ever, you know, like obviously you probably get them in Stirlingshire now, but had they ever reached that far south and west when you were a young man, or they?
I don't think so, because I think my mother would have been looking out for them. But they certainly were in Perth 10 years ago.
Aye.
That's. I don't recollect anything in Stirling. No, my memory of Stirling is Bridie's from Forfar.
Still it's on my bucket list. It's something that I still have not had as a proper.
Oh, you know,
Forfar
Bridie
in the town.
In the town.
No, it's got to be done.
Yeah, smaller than the Cornish pasty.
Yes. Yeah.
So we finished off the last time round.
Dingwall Canal. Who'd ever heard of that?
The canal, yes. And I mean, how many people have never heard of it? Yeah, strange. What happened was, in the early 1800s, there had been a real problem with unemployment.
Yeah.
And the local, I don't know, dignitaries, I don't think there'd be a council as such at that point, but the local, or would it be the sheriffdom?
I don't know.
Anyway,
because Dingwall,
yes,
is the same word as Tingwall on the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Which is their parliament on the Isle of Man.
Yep.
It's the same
root. Yeah.
Same root.
Yep.
It's the same word.
And there's a Dingwall in Orkney or Shetland.
And in Orkney and Shetland, it's some form of seat of government.
So you know the car park quite near Tesco's.
Yes.
In front of Castle Street in Dingwall.
Yes.
Big round stone thing.
Yes.
That's where they used to meet to make their decisions.
Yes.
And that goes right back to Viking times.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's the whole Dingwall Isle of Man Manx thing as well.
Yeah.
And I suppose you could possibly trace that back to Arthurian legend and the Round Table.
Oh yes,
Would that be
could be,
a thing there?
Could be
like sitting round, to discuss stuff.
Yes,
it's still very much in many council chambers around the country today. Would be
It might even be Pictish as well. There's probably again. Possible research, but not for just now. So anyway, Dingwall was struggling a bit with unemployment, and there was this need for or plan to improve the town, and what they did was they created or rerouted some of the river and made a new canal. And you know how much it cost? This was in the 1820s. £4,345.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't buy a car for that.
No, not that. Not that. You know.
And the canal engineer was Thomas Telford.
Telford. So while he was up here doing the Caledonian Canal, he did a wee homer out in Dingwall.
A wee homer. That's it.
That's it. You
Yeah.
know.
So that's in the 1820s. And by 1830, the harbour was working, but not for long. And you know
I wonder
what
whether
happened?
the Dingwall folks referred to him as the Gudgee.
Ah,
Yeah.
maybe. Thomas the Gudgee.
Telford Gudgee. There we go. You know.
That's nice that how you slipped that one in. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yes, can you think why the canal wasn't a success?
Well,
Oh, you probably know.
you look at the Cromarty Firth today, the silt. It silts up very, very quickly.
Yep.
It's a bit like the high end of the Firth of Forth as well. If you look at lime kilns and places like that, it you know, you can walk a long way out into the river and still not be up to your knees in water.
Yeah.
Cromarty Firth silts up, and then even more so now since the 1980s and the Cromarty Bridge.
Yep.
Upstream from the bridge is completely silted up now. When the tide's out,
Yes.
it's just a trickle running down the centre,
Mm-hmm.
which does make it dangerous, of course, if
Yeah.
folks, you know, thinking they can jump off the bridge and swim and such like, end up in mud. But it's only navigable now by very small sailing dinghies or kayaks and canoes
Yeah.
at high tide.
And back then, the other thing that caused the ceasing of the operations of the canal was the railway coming to Dingwall in the 1860s.
Yes, yeah.
And that had a big impact. You know, why spend all that time and energy and money clearing the canal when you can jump on a train?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be fascinating if there were pictures, drawings, or such like of the harbour at Dingwall, if anybody listening knows of such things, to see the harbour and the canal.
Yeah, that'd be good to see that. I've seen some old pictures of Wick and all the fishing, sailing vessels,
Yeah.
and I suspect
To
it'd be
walk across the harbour without
similar.
getting, and that was repeated in fishing ports across the country, not just in Scotland.
Yeah.
All the Whitbys and
Oh yes.
all the fishing ports of the East Coast, along the Cornish coast and everywhere, the fishing industry. Obviously, there were far, far smaller fishing boats than we have now, but there were so many more of them.
Mm-hmm. So that was the continuation from the Dingwall story there. What do you want to chat about in this time that we have left?
Okay, so what's that about?
Yeah, I just wondered how about music tracks? Have you
Music tracks?
Have you got a famous or a particular piece of music that you think, oh, that does it for me?
Yeah. Maybe not one, but many.
Ah, right.
Yeah. I was telling you earlier about being on top of Ben Nevis.
Yes.
And I was on top of Ben Nevis, having been brought up in Fort William, on about 13 occasions. And more latterly, when I was there, this is going back to the 1980s, we would go up as close to midsummer as we could. It had been an old tradition in Fort William up until about the 1950s and 60s. You know, half the town would be up the top of Ben Nevis on Midsummer's Night.
Yes.
It died out around that time, but we had gone up, and on a clear night, the view you got from the top of the Ben all the way up past Inverness here, looking across Rossshire, right up to the top of Scotland, out to the islands, looking south, down, basically following the line of the Great Glen Way, the West Highland Way, as it is now. Loch Lomond, Ben Lomond, you know,
Rannoch.
could even see on a very clear night the lights of the north coast of Ulster.
Wow.
Yeah. Phenomenal view.
Mm-hmm.
And I always used to stand and sing How Great Thou Art.
Oh, right.
You know, when through the woods and forest glades I wander.
Okay.
You know, it was a fantastic hymn to, you know, on a night like that to watch.
I can't remember who wrote that.
You know, it's originally a Swedish.
The melody, yeah.
The words and music are a Swedish tune, and the original words. I'm not sufficiently knowledgeable in Swedish, but I think it's something like "Ostui good."
Oh, right.
It sounds like that to me, anyway.
Yeah.
I have listened to it and being sung by Swedish people.
It's a good rousing melody, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a sort of melody that people can put their fill their lungs and express themselves openly. Yeah. Good. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know. So that was one. Another one that's always moving in the way of hymns would be When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, Isaac Watts, great hymn.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about the modern, where you cut in with a modern.
Yeah.
Prefer the, most of our hymn books have 4 verses. There are in fact 5 verses.
Yep.
But I prefer it as Isaac Watts wrote it. You know.
Yeah, and there's 2 tunes come to mind that are used fairly regularly, and then of course there's the modern ones.
Yeah.
As happens to really good hymns, they're taken and revamped, and sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the 2 tunes that you think of is the When I Survey.
Yep.
And the other one, which it's not coming to my mind. We'll come back to you on that one.
Maybe we should do a whole program and do our top 10. The tracks you must keep.
Yes.
And we could go into a bit more detail.
Something like BBC Desert Island Discs.
Yes, similar to that. That would be quite good.
Do one. I could be the presenter. I could be the Roy Plumley guy one week, and the following week we could do it.
Yeah.
You know, that programme started during the war. 1942, and it's been running ever since. It's one of the longest running radio programs.
That's a long time.
It's one of certainly probably the world's longest running music program.
Yes, right. So that's good. That's well, we've kicked around a few things there. The Dingwall Canal and some music, and I think we need to finish there, do we?
Yes.
Yeah, and look forward to having a chat again soon.
Yeah. Catch up with you again.
Thanks for coming round, Andy.
No worries. Next time we might get a cup of coffee.
You were listening to Brian and Andy of Chatty Chappies. It's now easier for people to find our page Chatty Chappies in Facebook search. Come and join them again soon. If you want to know when to hear them next, send a private message with your email details to the Facebook page Chatty Chappies for further instructions. The song Uncertainty by Broxton Knox is available on Spotify.